Hello YouTube, it's Reed again with the Crown Yacht Co. channel, and I wanted to go ahead and do another video on something that's pretty important to the work that we've been doing lately, and that's the chains that we put on our dam saws. So we've learned the difference between a carbide chain and a regular chain is like night and day. And talking to the people at the Stihl dealership, they seem to not be able to sell the carbide chains because people don't want to spend the money on them. Now, if you're just kind of working at home, trimming shrubs and trees at your house, and that makes all the sense in the world, but if you're trying to run a business and you're using these chains, then you're missing out, and I'm going to tell you why. So first, this is a regular chainsaw chain. This is an 18-inch chain, and this runs on one of our 251Cs. Second, this is what a carbide chainsaw chain looks like, and this runs on our 271s. Aside from the apparent difference of just the shape of the blades, the color's a little bit off, and they're just a little different overall. On top of that, there's about a $60 difference on the price. The carbide chains are significantly more expensive. Running on the saw, they run pretty much exactly the same. One downside we have found to the carbide chains is that the saw tends to throw the chains a lot more, and when it does, it tends to bend up these little brackets on the bottom. However, if you take just a file to them, you can make them run absolutely fine. So, nothing but bad things about the carbide. What is the upside? Well, the carbide chains, they don't dull out nearly as fast at all. They keep a blade so much longer. A carbide chain probably keeps its blade through the entire lifespan of one of these regular blades. The regular blades can be sharpened all the way down to where there's just a little itty bitty piece of the blade, and then you have to retire the blade. The carbide blades work the same as the regular blades. They can be sharpened down all the way down to that tip. They're not even really sharpened, they're just polished. So you probably have 2 or 3 times as much of a lifespan out of a carbide blade as you do out of this. And that's just talking in terms of how many times they can be sharpened. The time difference is, I don't even know how to measure that because we haven't hit the end of a carbide lifespan yet. Another perk to using carbide blades is that running them through, rocks and dirt doesn't really seem to affect them as much. With the regular blade, we can run this blade, and if you nick a rock, you already have to take the blade off and sharpen it. Otherwise, it's just going to be really dull and not do much more than burn the wood. With the carbide blades, it'll cut the rock, and it'll keep cutting like it's brand new. Another thing about the carbide blades is the blades are a lot harder, and they're a little more brittle. So instead of like these where you put big nicks in the blade that you can sharpen out, see if I can find one on here. The carbide blades actually tend to chip the blades a little bit. That would be an example of a blade that hasn't been chipped or messed up at all. Well, this one has. Now this blade alone still has quite a bit of life in it. You can still polish them down, sharpen them, and it's still going to cut pretty well. But they do chip a little bit more than these ones do. The other thing about the carbide blades is that since they're so damn strong and they keep their blades so well, you can take these carbide blades and until you lose 20-30% of the teeth on them, you can just keep using them. That pretty much wraps up the chains. I'll probably do a video in the future on sharpening regular chains. Like always, please like the video, subscribe, and till next time.
Fuck.